Welcome back to ShopDog-Garage. ShopDog says it's time to do a little work on a Pontiac. We have been playing some measurement games and some fan games off camera, and he ordered some parts. So we're going to see if we can get a couple fan relays running and get this installed. What I haven't decided is if we're going to do it on a lift or not yet. One of the things I've been doing for the last week is I cleaned under here on the black car because there is a leak. There's obviously, well, I'm assuming a rear main leak and a transmission leak. I'm just trying to figure out how serious they are, because over 6 months they sure drop a lot, but out of 6 months, you know, I mean, how much is it overnight? Obviously not much, at least not when it's not running. So just 50 things always going on around here. So it was just showing them all the motorcycle, though not sure the ignition switch or the ignition is working for the coil, so gotta look into that later as well. So we're gonna decide our path forward here. God, that thing sounds good. So they're gonna bring her up and we're gonna take a look and see how much room we get. It's in the center console right there. Push 3. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess you gotta let it do its job. Powers that be have decided that it's only a few screws from the bottom and he's willing to take a try. Also the fact that as long as we don't actually take the cooling system out, you know, so if we had to run it and drive it onto a lift, that's not the end of the world. Look how different the packaging is after 10 years. These are the exact same part number, but the packaging has definitely changed. Okay, now we're just unboxing. Oh, they look a little different, the fans. Every time I get something new from Durale, something's changed a little bit. So that tells you they're always changing and always trying new things. Also, this is obviously going to be the top because of the way these flaps go. Those are so when you're going down the highway, they'll come out and let air bypass, but when you're at idle, there will be suction here and all the air will have to go through the fan. Okay, so we've pulled all that apart so they can scuff and clean, but even though I just put it away, if we need it, I can use that for mock-up because it's the same stamping. Right now, I'm going through and looking for some relay bases and pins because we're gonna need some fan control relays, and I know I got some around here somewhere. I just gotta dig. It's always a mess around here, you know that. If you've been watching, you know it's always a mess. So Tori and Pixie have been in here scuffing this up. We even got the fancy sticker right off of there, so got a fancy puffy sticker. So they're gonna get this the same black that we've used everywhere else in the car. In the most "dang here, DD Speed Shop" kind of voice I can do, I'm out of relay bases, so I'm going to order some. For now, I'm just going to swipe some from the Impala. In fact, while I do it, I have some of these ones that I've taken off of other things because these aren't the kind I like. So I can even keep all my wiring straight for now. Remember, this is all getting rewired anyway, but I do want it to run and drive until that time. So if we pop that up, these are the ones I like. These 1002s from Tyco. These are great. I love them. The whole VCF4 series. They're great. They're easy to work with. And you can get all kinds of sizes, you know, for your different wire sizes. So, no, I love these. That's what I'm going to put in the car. I almost put something temporary in the Pontiac. And then I'm like, I'll never undo that because it'll work and we'll ignore it. So one of the things I like about these, in fact, you can see I already stole a relay for something else anyway, is you can just pop a relay. That circuit's now dead, just like in a modern car. The other big thing is once you've done all of that, if, say, you're out on power tour and that fails, you can just pop a new one in. Relays do fail, quite often, actually. Okay, so we've got these pulled, and when I put the temps on, I will number them 1, 2, and 3 for my future use. But all you've got to do for these is reach under here, unlock that yellow, well, it's ivory lock tab that slides out, And then just like every other thing you've ever seen, use your fancy tool to undo them. I don't know where, oh, they're literally right behind me. Of course they are. So when you look here, see that little lock tab right there? That's the thing that keeps it in. Well, you just depress that with your tool. It can slide past the little cavity in the plastic and come right out. Bend it back over and pop it in a new cavity and everything's good. Okay, so those are attached good enough for what we need it to do. This car isn't going to be driving too much more before it gets wired. Really still hoping to kind of save that compressor. So we'll see how all this goes. So for fan control, what I'm thinking is we still take this 25 amp fan control circuit. We're going to use that to run pins 86 on the relay, so it'll only be a couple hundred mils, but you can always tie into it later. But that way, pulling that fuse would disable the fans if you needed them disabled. This is our high-low controls, so this gives us almost everything we need. We just need ground and high current. Well, I don't know if you noticed, we have ground and high current. So we can mount those relays probably, right in here somewhere, and then figure out how they're going to control the fans once they're here. So I can get quite a bit of the wiring done. The only thing I can't do is the wires to the two fans, but that's, easy enough to do in car once we've got that all mapped out and extended. So let me get on to that. Okay, so this has been awesomely fun, but we're getting some lower brackets in literally the only place they can be and doing it on the floor. So we've been using smaller self tappers to get them started and then putting these nice sheet metal screws in. So everything's going to be relative on that because it's literally the only place those brackets can go. It's the opposite of that. So yeah, if I take one of these, you'll see it's that set up there. Nowhere else it can really go. Now on the top where we have control, well, actually we'll make sure they're hidden under our little fancy plate and it won't even matter. Okay, we're still making the upper bracket, but you can see, and this one's just while the other one dries, but that'll line up decent enough. We're gonna, because it's so hard to get at those bottom ones, we're gonna leave them screwed into this. And in the other, in the black one, we'll put some riv nuts in strategic locations so that some screws can come in from the bottom. And then that'll be that, because there's no way we're getting in there to bolt them. So he's now making some brackets so that this can kind of attach to this here. And it's literally that simple. I got some wiring to do yet. Okay, and there'll be some paint touch up. Now we have a place for the wires to come out. And we're slowly working out how we're going to do our lower mount, because we're not going to be able to get at it from down below, and our upper mounts, which we won't do until the lower is working. Alright, so what we've got going on for right now is our bottom screws are just barely started, so it can go in and out, but we can't go side to side, so that we can get our top brackets sorted out and get those. Once that's all done, then we can take it off, put the fans back in, put the little flappies in, extend our wiring, have that sitting way out here, and then I can do this wiring. So let's get cracking. Okay, and here is how we're going to do this. Obviously we got to pull it back out, clean it up, get some fans back in it and the flappers, but this will work. This will work very, very, very well. ShopDog even approves. Although he's still jealous that everybody got to go for a ride, but he didn't. Alright, so now we're at the matching wire gauges here, because we've got to extend them. Not the color choices I would make, but they will be fine. We will make sure all of this works out. But I need my grounds and my two power feeds to go here. And all of these should be more than long enough to make that happen. Alright, Diesel did a good job lumen. I did the heat shrinking on those because you have to. So we've got that splice to heat shrunk, and some people are going to whine. That's a ground for the driver's side fan. That's the ground for the other fan. This is the driver's control. That's the passenger's control. you know, because generally what I like to do if I'm just doing a two-step is the one closest to the radiator neck, you know, where the hottest water's coming in, will be the first fan we turn on. And then in crisis mode or air conditioning mode, then we turn on the other fan. Look at that. We're actually pretty happy here. This shouldn't take long to wire up at all. Huh. Fits real nice. Tons and tons of clearance. I've still got to pop those little flaps on there. We forgot to do that, but that's easy enough. It's time to show the people where we're at. So we've got our beautiful ground location. These wires are getting ready to come over for the relays. Remember, this is literally just going to be the couple hundred mils to run the relays. Fan 1, fan 2. So we'll come over here. And remember where on earth we just set all our relays at. Getting old and doing 3 things at a time. I'll be right back. Okay, so these are going to mount. Here, let me watch my arm. Let me turn you guys. Hopefully you guys are seeing what I'm doing here. But these are going to be right here. These 2 wires come in here. And then these red wires will go in here. Everything will work. Alright, and with that, I think we're wired in. So he can go ahead and throw his negative on and start his programming. So we'll be back in a little bit. Alright, so Kevin will go in there and get his programming done. I'm going to go up and move a sprinkler. And here's the fun part. The part where we just keep waiting. Sooner or later, it'll know. We're just waiting and waiting and waiting. And I got tired of it. So we take fan 1 and just pop something in behind it. That's that fan. And now if I do the same for fan 2, which is on this side, I am right-handed, but this is difficult. I don't know why holding a phone would make such a commotion here. But there we go. Because we're waiting on the sniper to get warm enough to kick them on. And the funny thing is, if we kicked the AC on, it would kick the fans on, but if we do that, that hose is going to blow more coolant, all our refrigerant. Well, for better or for worse, we had to reprogram and start over, but honestly, it probably isn't a bad idea anyway. And now it's running the fans. So the very next thing is, it's time for them to go for a little cruise. So they're going to take a little test drive and see how this goes. The engine got hot when the fans weren't running, so it's weird that we had to reprogram to get the fans to work. Okay, so we've got that all set up the way we think it needs to be, and they're going to go for a little ride, see what they think. Yeah, there's a little humidity, as you can see. That's been idling for a little while. And okay, we'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, Pontiac is back. So, how was your ride?
It was nice. Nice and smooth. Rode right down the road really nice.
Yeah, never got 200.
Yeah, fans were great.
Now, to be fair, it's a much nicer day than last weekend.
Yeah.
But I think we're now at the point where we will be exploring water flow and radiator. I don't think fans will be the limit anymore.
I'd be curious to see what happens when it gets over 200, if it does.
Well, AC will do that if we ever get that line done. It's been on the list.
It'll be next.
So, all right. Well, anything else on the Pontiac? Oh, I know what else.
Yeah?
Ta-da! She got that seat cover on. That was on your list.
That's on the list. And seatbelts were in there.
Oh, yes. And the back now has seatbelts, so, you know, laws and stuff. And remember those missing bolts? They were under the back seat. We found them. So, yeah, a couple things left, including that AC line. But, you know, it's not the end of the world. Well, this has just been a crazy day. Lots of people coming and going. Been a long time since that's happened. But I think you two are done. You're going to close her out?
Yeah.
So, any last parting advice?
Nope. Day by day.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Please like, comment, and subscribe.